So I wanted to make a video about how to sync your local machine with Cocalc. I mentioned it in class, but I didn't really give enough details to actually do it. So from Cocalc, I've clicked on this wrench inside my project, and I've gone down to SSH keys. So SSH is just a way for you to use the command line on another computer. Let's see if this works. So I have an encrypted SSH key. I type in a passphrase, and you'll see that the name of the host is changed. So I was on my laptop, and now I'm on a computer in my basement. I'm going to exit that. So SSH is very useful. All kinds of things can run through and over SSH, like a program called Rsync that I'm going to talk about in a second, and also you can even use the window manager also to view graphics, but that's beyond the scope of this video. So you'll notice when I SSH'd into this computer in my basement, I didn't have to type in a password. By the way, that this thing with a $sign here is just an environment variable in Linux or in Mac. It's the same. So it's just my IP address and then also the port that SSH runs on my computer, which I am running a slight risk exposing to the world. You know, by default SSH runs on port 22. I like to make mine run on an odd port just to make it a little bit harder to hack my system, but now you know my secret. So you can also SSH into Cocalc once you get it set up. There's not much to do there. You know, you can look at your folders and whatever. So I'm just going to exit that and then clear again. And let me show you what that variable is. What that variable is, I just set it to be equal to my username on Cocalc. That's the same as this value right here. I have decided not to memorize this username. You might want, if you choose to memorize your username and type it in every time, that's fine. But this echo Cocalc is just the same. So when I use that environment variable, it's just exactly the same as just using that long, ugly string of crap. Whoops, I said SSH. Shh. That's not what I meant. So like that. That's exactly the same as just using the variable. So I guess since I've talked about those variables, let me just tell you how they get set on my machine. Depending on what kind of OS you have, you have either a .bash RC file or a .profile file hidden in your home directory. On Mac, I'm not positive what that file is called. It might be bash RC. I don't know. You'll have to look into that if you want to do this. But every time I log into my computer, it loads these environment variables that I like, and it just saves me some time. And I don't have to remember anything. I hate to remember and type in numbers and weird syntactical things, so I just use these environment variables. Okay, so the reason I was able to log in to all these places without using a password is because I am using public key cryptography. If you look in your computer, you can probably go into a directory called .ssh in your home directory, and that is where your public and private keys are. So I have several of them. This one, ECDSA, is the same thing as, I believe, that one. There's a way to find out. Hold on, I'll show you. So yeah, because I actually did these hashes earlier. So it's just what they call the fingerprint here seems to just be the MD5 hash. So my RSA public key E4, that's not here. My my ED, I think this is just a particular elliptic curve. and that one is 328175. So that's this, what's called the system 76 key there. And then I also have this other elliptic curve digital signature algorithm, public key, and the hash of that is F1, so that's this. Okay. So all you have to do, there are instructions here for how to create SSH keys. Once you have them, the way that you associate them with Cocalc is very easy. You just click the add SSH key, and then you name your key, whatever you want to name it, and then you paste it in. So what do you paste in? You paste in the public part. So let me show you the public part of one of my keys. So just that stuff. So that's, you would just like literally, so here, that ThinkPad carbon. I'm not actually using a ThinkPad anymore, but I just am still using this key. So you would just copy that and paste it in there, and then click the add button, and you're done. And then if you have SSH set up on your computer, then you can SSH into Cocalc. SSHing into Cocalc is something that I never do, actually. But through SSH, you can run Rsync, which really is useful. So Rsync is a program that does syncing, like maybe you use Dropbox or some service like that, and maybe you wonder how those directories between your local machine and the cloud server are synchronized, and it's probably running a program like Rsync. So it's just a quick way to synchronize folders. So you can run it locally, but you can also run it. It's very convenient to use remotely. So you can synchronize a directory from your machine to the cloud, and from the cloud back down to your machine. So let's look at some dead dumb scripts for how to do that, which I've written. So let me go to the documents folder, my machine learning course, and here I have a copy of my Cocalc directory. So on Cocalc I have a folder with just exactly this name, and the contents of this directory on my local machine are synchronized with the contents of the folder on Cocalc. So here's how you do it. I just wrote these commands. So again, you don't actually need to write these. These are just for convenience, so that I don't have to remember the command that they contain. So let's look at this one first. So inside this file, there's just a single command. It's rsync in archival mode, verbose. That means I want to see lots of output. It's actually prettier if you also add a capital P here. You'll get to see progress. So this gives the, you know what that is. That's the Cocalc environment variable that I showed you earlier, and then there's a colon, and this is the name of the directory on the server that I want to be synchronized with my local machine. PWD is just an environment variable that contains the path for my current directory. You could, instead of using PWD, you could hard code that. That might even actually be better. But what this will do when I execute it is to synchronize my, it'll take every change that's been done on the server. So every time there's a file on the server that's newer than a local file, it'll overwrite the local file. There actually are no newer files on the server, and this program does the opposite. So if there are any newer files in my local directory, they go up. And let me show you what that command looks like. So it looks the same, except the order of the commands is order of the directories is reversed, and also there's a slash here. So here was the first one. It looked like that. So this, the syntax is source destination. So when you pull down from the cloud, the source is the cloud and the destination is the local machine. And now I'm doing it the opposite way. The source is the local machine, the destination is the cloud. So that syncs up instead of down. Let me just create some new stupid file. So this created a new file called hi here, which will not be on the server. So if I sync up now, I actually need to execute it. Then it will discover that file and send it up to Cocalc, and now if I go to Cocalc and I look in that directory, I will see this newly created file called hi, and I'm going to delete it. So that's basically it. So I'm going to stop this video, and I'll see you in class.